do a little lightning round for title subtitles from some of the other ones that came in. It's from Nadia Ahrens. So Nadia, The Whole Soul. I'm going to bring your book up here. Here we go. So The Whole Soul, How Healing Trauma Reveals Your Soul's Path. So the first thing that hit me about this was healing trauma continues to be a popular subject. So I liked that those words were in the subtitle. I also liked that it's not just about psychology. It's obviously got a spiritual piece to it because it talks about the soul. Now, what I would be chatting with this author about, if I were her agent or her editor, would be the title, The Whole Soul, which to me doesn't feel specific enough. I wonder if we can find something like healing, I don't even know what you'd say, healing trauma for the soul, or that's not exactly it, but I would want to put something in the title that's a little bit more specific. The Whole Soul is fine, but I don't necessarily, and as long as the subtitle's right there, I get a sense of what we're going to be getting. But I wonder if there's something even more specific for the title. It's not bad. It's just, I would probably try to brainstorm some things. And also I would be going through the manuscript if I was the, editor or the agent, looking for a different maybe phrase that would be a little bit more descriptive of what it is that we're getting out of the book. But the first section of the overview, I love this. This feels like the hook in a way. What if the very wounds that broke you open were actually the key to your greatest transformation? What if your deepest pain was not a detour, but an initiation, guiding you back to your soul's true purpose? Right there, you've opened a very curious question for me. Wow, interesting. What if that could be the case? I want to read more. So you're setting me up, and it's actually very similar to the very first proposal we looked at, where you're giving me a reframe on something that's a common idea, is that trauma is bad. Trauma is a problem. Trauma is something to get over. And you're saying, what if it's an initiation? And what if you could see it in that way? Then you help me understand why you're the right person to write it by explaining that your own son died. I'm so sorry about this, by the way. And that it sent you into the dark night of your soul. You were already a licensed psychotherapist and clinical hypnotherapist. Love that. I see already that you have the expertise to be the one writing this book, plus the experience of having gone through it yourself. Faced with a choice, live passively, suicidal, victimized life, waiting to die, or transform the shit out of the worst experience I'll ever have. I chose the latter. Right there, I get chills. I'm like, yes. I think the writing is also really good here. So basically, we're getting, again, another restating of what it is you're taking us on. You're talking a little bit about how, who's the right audience. Basically, everybody has some trauma, essentially. But I do wonder, and I'm still looking for where I'm going to be finding the exact sort of sense of what's going to be in the book. And then I find it because you give me a numbered list. Now, you don't have to give a numbered list or a bulleted list, but as you'll see, it's helped now in 2 out of these 4 proposals where we get actually what the themes are going to be. What am I getting in very specific terms, right? So I'm going to learn about the dark night of the soul. I am going to learn there's a soul blueprint, wounds as portals. I mean, again, I probably want even a little more specificity here about how you're going to get me to see my wound, not as a burden, but as a teacher. So I think we could see a little bit more specific, but already I'm still reading. If I'm an editor who receives this, I'm still reading. Why I'm the right person to write this book. I mean, the truth is I don't know that you need this section because you really did front load the proposal or the overview with this information already. Who the book is for, I do like a little mention here. And, we're definitely back to target market is primarily women, which is fine. But the question would be who, I would say the women I work with. I would really focus on yourself as an expert who has a business already working with this audience. That really sets up the publisher to say, oh, she knows exactly who she's selling to because she's working with them every single day. So to really specify that this is the client that you're working with, which I hope is the case, and it may not be, but that would be the idea. And I love you used my exact outline for the overview, so good job. With the why the book now, etc., which I do like. And I feel like overall this is a very strong overview. And someone had asked in the chat about the length, and this is 1,429 words. That seems like a pretty good length. That's about 4 to 5, maybe 6 pages, double spaced. So just remember, I think this is double spaced. It might be 1.5, but regardless, remember you don't want it to be single spaced so that the reader has more ease reading it. But I feel like we have a really good example of a solid overview here. And Reed, I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, the same. The the overview's good. Like, I think you would read the proposal
Yes.
and you would know you're going to change the title. So but that's super common, by the way. So like, don't worry so much about the title because the whole soul isn't a good title. I don't think it is either. I like your soul's path better, like for the title, and then you say, whatever trauma does to affect your soul's path, or, or purpose, or
It could be
whatever
something
you
like how
want
healing trauma to return to wholeness or something like that. To bring
Yeah,
the
I don't
wholeness.
like wholeness or
Okay.
whole anything. Like, that's been used like 5 billion
Right. It's
times.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's something most of you aren't going to see, but I see it over and over and over. And as soon as I see wholeness, like, I don't want any more wholeness.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is what, excuse me, what we're both picking up on is like a little bit more of a fine tune around what is the actual hook. So even just taking something from this first paragraph about, your trauma as initiation, how healing your wounds reveals your soul's path or something. I don't know what it is, but just to get even more specific than where we are now.
I mean, but like, yeah, I mean, whatever title you come up with, you're going to probably get up a different title once you have the whole book. Like, I'm never worried about the title because you can always get a good title when you have the whole entire book. And to be honest, like, a big amount of time we don't even do the titles till we have the whole book. So like, they have a preliminary title. So
yeah,
I think
you really have, the thing that's most important, or would be most important to me if I were an acquiring editor, would be that you have a good idea and that you have the expertise and the personal experience to back it up. And you give all of that right here up front. That keeps me reading. So that's for everybody to remind you that we really want to know, again, there are 3 things that editors and agents are looking for. The first one is great writing. The second is a great idea. And the third is a platform. Now, the platform, we know not all of you have.